Pranam and welcome back to yet another episode of Jainism Simplified. Today we're going to talk about KSHAMA, the art of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a conscious and deliberate decision to release the feeling of resentment and vengeance towards the person who's harmed you. Well, it doesn't really mean that the person deserves your forgiveness. All we're trying to say here is that you've got the power and the choice to forgive and forget. Well, forgiveness does also help you to free yourself from the control of the person who's harmed you. And more often than not, it creates another level of empathy, understanding, and compassion towards the other person. However, having said that, let me also reiterate that a lot of people struggle to forgive simply because they are conditioned in a certain way to hold on to the grudge. Well, some people believe that if they don't let go, it is going to protect them from being harmed again. And the third concept that people carry in the brain is that if they just hold on to that anger, that resentment, they believe that somehow the other person will be punished. Now, flawed thinking concepts as they could be, the truth and the reality is that only one person suffers the most by not letting go, by not forgiving, and that person is you. Now, make a choice that you want to come out of the suffering, and I'll help you to navigate through a process. First things first, let's look at this visual, which gives us an idea of what happens when you're feeling angry and unable to let go. Your vision will get blurry, you may have dry mouth, your blood flow in the digestive system will decrease, your metabolism will slow down, and of course you may also have issues such as increased heart rate, increased blood glucose level, and blood fatty acid levels. You may also feel that your bone density is decreased, and you may have more frequent headaches and migraines. Now, these are scientifically proven effects of anger on your body. Buddha has some advice for us as far as forgiving is concerned. He says, forgiving someone does not mean that the behavior was okay. What it does mean is that we are ready to move on, to release the heavy weight, to shape our own lives on our own terms without any unnecessary burdens. Well, in one of my past videos titled Forgive and Forget, I have illustrated various tools and techniques that can help you to forgive the other person and release that heavy emotion and the heavy energy in the body. I also spoke about the 5-step forgiveness process. Well, I really urge that you look at the video, try the technique, and see how much progress you can make as far as forgiveness is concerned. But for the purpose of this video today, I'm going to introduce you to another very cool concept of forgiveness which was proposed by UPADHYAY YASHOVIJAYJI. UPADHYAY YASHOVIJAYJI talks about 5 different types of KSHAMA. Number 1, Upkar KSHAMA. Number 2, Apakar KSHAMA. Number 3, Vipak KSHAMA. Number 4, Vachan KSHAMA. Number 5, Swabhav KSHAMA. Number 1, Upakar KSHAMA. Let's say your parents or your teacher whom you respect a lot say some harsh words to you in front of your friend. Your friend may ask you, don't you think it's wrong for them to speak like that? Aren't you angry? You smile and you look at the other person and say, oh no, definitely not. These are people whom I really love and respect. They have taught me so many good things and I'm so full of gratitude. I don't think I can get angry with them, and therefore you forgive them. Number 2, Apakar KSHAMA. Let's consider that you encounter an antisocial element and this person, for no fault of yours comes and abuses you. You know the truth that fighting with this person is not going to help you in any way. It's only going to harm you. So what do? You just be quiet and you let go. You forgive the person and tell yourself that, well, it's not worth getting into a tussle with him. And therefore, you forgive this person. This is called Apakar KSHAMA. Number 3, Vipak KSHAMA. Let's consider an IT officer comes with his entire team and he's searching your house, and in a conversation, he makes very, very harsh statements such as, you're a cheat and you have bent the rules. Your entire community of business people always try to take advantage of the loopholes in the system. Now, you do know this, that it is not the truth. And therefore, you have a choice now, either to go ahead and get angry with this person and fight back, or just to forgive him. Now, more often than not, you know in your brain that it's not worth getting into any kind of an argument with a person who's got so much of power and who can harm you in any way. So by a choice, you make a decision not to get into a conflict with this person. Now, this person, the IT officer, is being forgiven by you, not because of upakar or apkar. It's just because you do not want to get into a conflict with this person. UPADHYAY YASHOVIJAYJI does not give any significance to these three types of forgiveness. He believes that they have nothing to do with your spiritual progress. It is just an arrangement for your worldly benefit and progress only. Let me explain to you why he says what he says. Let's say that you have a conflict with your parents or your guru on certain issues. Maybe you want to go abroad for your education and your parents don't allow you, and you have a conflict and then you lose the respect. And in a situation like that, you do get angry with them and you don't forgive them. So upakar kshama has now gone out of context. Or let's say the antisocial element or the IT officer that we spoke about in kshama number 2 and 3, which is apkar kshama and vipak kshama. And let's say you know someone who's more powerful than the antisocial element, or you know the boss of this IT officer who's very, very close to you. What will happen to you? Will you actually forgive the person, or will you just tell the person to mind himself because you know whom to talk to get him to mend his ways? Well, again, what happens here is that you're getting yourself out of the actual essence of forgiveness. And that is why UPADHYAYJI says that these are only kshamas from the worldly perspectives, and they really don't have any value as far as our progress in this world is concerned. Number 4, vachan kshama. This is very interesting. What UPADHYAYJI says is that if you can listen to the words of the enlightened, for they are saying that it's worth forgiving a person, and therefore you forgive the person not because it makes you feel good. You forgive the person not because it's going to help you earn some brownies. You forgive the person simply, truly because you believe that the enlightened ones know the actual universal truth, and if they are saying so, then you're going to walk on that path. That is called as vachan kshama. Number 5, swabhav kshama. YASHOVIJAYJI says that this is the ultimate form of forgiveness, because you've made forgiveness a part of your nature itself. And then you don't forgive simply because it's right or wrong to forgive. You forgive because you believe that's your nature. You believe that's a virtue that emanates from the power of your soul, and therefore everybody deserves forgiveness. When you use vachan kshama or swabhav kshama to forgive someone, then it really means that you are practicing real dharma and you are making spiritual progress. Well, then this is clear that it is vachan kshama and swabhav kshama which are truest and the purest forms of forgiving a person. As you forgive people from that state of mind, it will become easy for you to forget the hurt as well. So there is no need for grudges then. There is no need to take revenge. All you will do is to stay in the state of awareness to move on and make progress in the spiritual world. Well, just think about it. The moment you forgive someone, you will not feel heavy anymore in your body. You'll begin to feel light, which means to say that the energy which was stuck in one part of the body now gets unstuck, and therefore your entire endocrine system begins to function normally again. In that process, you will actually see yourself healing from various physical ailments and also mental diseases. This is the power of forgiveness. When you know that you're mentally and physically fit, and when you know that your North Star is to make spiritual progress, you will then be able to create a lot of empathy, understanding and compassion for the other person, and release all the negativity and focus that energy on your spiritual growth. And which is why Jainism gives so much of emphasis on the concept of kshama. Khamemi sabva jiva, I forgive all the living beings. Sabve jiva khamantume, I plead for forgiveness from all living beings. Mitti me sabba bhuesu, I am in friendship with all the living beings. Viram majjam nakanai, I have animosity towards no one. Well, this prayer is a very, very powerful message to every living being to learn to forgive and forget and move on to make spiritual progress. Let me conclude this video with the words of Bhagwan Mahavir. Anger begets more anger, and forgiveness and love leads to more forgiveness and love. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and remember, KSHAMA, the choice of forgiveness is truly yours. Make the right choice and live a great life. And that's Jainism Simplified.